In this video, we'll find the area of two different composite shapes. The first shape that you see in question 1 is a triangle with a half circle. We'll need to calculate the area of both pieces. So let's start with the triangle. The area of a triangle from your formula sheet is a half base times height, or base times height divided by 2. So we sub in the base of the triangle, which here says 64 centimeters, times it by the height, which is 102 centimeters, and divide by 2. We can do the rest of that work on our calculator. 64 times 102 divided by 2. We get 3,264. The units are centimeters squared because it's area. We also have to calculate the area of half this circle. Well, the area of a circle is pi r squared, but it's only a half circle, so we divide by 2. So area equals approximately 3.14 for pi. The radius is half this diameter. Diameter is 64, so half of that is 32. We square it, divide by 2. So we get 3.14 times, what's 32 squared? 1,024. And we divide by 2. We can do all that at once. 1,024 times 3.14 divided by 2. And we get 1,607.68 meters squared. So the total area, this total shaded area above, is just a combination of the triangle 3264 plus the half circle 1607.68, and we can add those together and we get 4,871.68 centimeters squared. That's this first question here. The second question is a series of circles. Please forgive the crudeness of this drawing, but it's a rectangle. It's supposed to be a perfect rectangle with a large empty circle, two of them, inside of which there are two smaller shaded in circles. So we're going to need to do a lot of calculating here. The first is to calculate the area of the two small circles. Two small circles. So the area of a circle is pi r squared, and there are two of them, so 2 pi r squared, which is going to be approximately, and I say approximately because we're rounding pi to 3.14, so it's 2 times 3.14 times the radius of the circle. I know it's hard to see here, but this radius is given as 3. So on our calculator, we can do all that at once. 3 squared first, do the exponent first, times 3.14 times 2, and we get 56.52. The units are meters, so it's 56.52 meters squared. Now we need to calculate the area of the two big circles. Again, there are two of them, so that's 2 pi r squared, which is 2 times 3.14, which is pi rounded, so put a rounding dot, times the radius 5 squared. We can do all that at once in our calculator. 5 squared times 3.14 times 2, and we get 157 centimeters squared. The last area shape that we need to compute is this outside big rectangle, and that area of the rectangle, as given on your formula sheet, is just length times width. But what's the length? Well, a radius here is 5 meters, which means it's another 5 meters to this radius, another 5 meters across the center here, another 5 meters to the side. So this entire length is 5 to the halfway, 10, 15, 20. In other words, the length of that rectangle is just 20. And similarly with the width spans 1, 2 radiuses, 1, 2, both of which are also 5 meters, so the width is 10, giving us an area for the rectangle of 200 square centimeters. So to calculate the total area, now, what we need to do is take the area of the rectangle, subtract the area of these white circles, the area of the two large circles, I call them big circles. We're going to take this big box, but then subtract away these white circles, but that would take away everything inside them, including the little circles, which we then have to add back in. So the area of the rectangle is 200 minus the area of the two big circles, 157, add back in the area of the two small circles, 56.52. And what do we get? 200 minus 157 equals plus 56.52, 99.52 centimeters squared. If this were a word problem, we'd finish with a word answer, but it's not, just a couple of shapes, both of which we've calculated their area of.